Hi everyone, this is Sergio with TheGamer.com here, and I'm back with another HeroClix unboxing. Today we are doing the new set that's coming out pretty soon. They're targeting a late February release. We'll see how that goes with everything that's going on, but right now, a couple weeks is what we're expecting. The usual $14.99 boxes we have here. You can get your bricks for the usual price as well. We have a bricks, which I've already kind of started unboxing here. With at the Gamer. These five, we'll get to what these are doing later, but right now I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who have reached out. I asked for some feedback on the subreddits and on YouTube. For our last video, my first one at the X-Men House of X, you guys gave some really great and some very harsh feedback, but it was very welcome. I learned what exactly the HeroClix community is looking for, what to focus on in these next unboxings. So for this one, as you see, I've already kind of unbox them just to kind of get the whole you watching me open boxes out of the way. I've separated some of the figures so we know what I want to focus on, what I want to show you guys, what the things that are really cool from this set that you'll want to see. So there's going to be two videos. This is the first one. I'm going to focus on the super rares and the new equipment cards that we're seeing in this set. In the Fantastic Four, our Future Foundation set, you see you can get things like Silver Surfer's surfboard or some of Doom's weird gadgets. You can use them, so we're going to see what ones I get and how exactly they can be used in play. I will show the cards this time, so thank you for telling me that, but let's just bust into some of them right now. I have my first one from this set. As you can see, the first one, start off with a common, why not? One of the kids of the Future Foundation, we have Leech. The name is appropriate because as you can see, he bears the sidekick designation. It's up there on the top right of his card. These sidekicks, as you can see, don't have many powers, and they actually have less clicks to them on their die, but a lower point cost. Because the idea is that they take powers from the captains. So we'll see more captains as we go, but yeah, not spending too much time with Leech, so let's move on. Next one. A little tough to get out here, but this one, as you can see, it's a Mr. Fantastic, and it's obviously a scroll. You know, he has the same powers that Mr. Fantastic would have in terms of elasticity. But he also has the scroll designation, so he has the shape change power, as you can see. He has the keywords scroll and spy to fit better on teams with those kinds of themes. Click-wise, there's 5 of them for 30, so. This was a little unfortunate, I'll just be upfront about this, but you'll see this when I do the close-up, what exactly happened here. The unfortunate tragedy of this invisible woman who's a scroll. She's losing part of her hand. She is supposed to, as the other side of the card is going to show you, look like this when she has a little burst of power coming out of her hand. I'll show you the other piece, which should come in the box separately. It was detached from her. Now, these things happen in production. It's unfortunate. But thankfully, she's like a 5-click unit for 30, so it's not like you're losing one of the centerpieces of your team, probably. Hopefully when you get yours, she'll be a little bit better. And of course, a classic in his Future Foundation garb. It's the Thing. You know what he does? He is tough, and he is a captain, so he can lend that toughness to the sidekicks. Pretty straightforward, and you can see he's got quite a few clicks to him, and he can be used at 2 different point designations. So we'll see how people like to use him, and if clobbering time is indeed upon us. And then a rare from this set, the good old silver, is Julie Power. She's in like an adult form here, one of the Power Pack. That was kind of cool if they got the Power Pack into the Fantastic Four set. Makes sense, family is the whole theme. She has the ability to take someone on a ride when she flies, so that's cool. Now you'll notice she has the Captain and Sidekick designation, so you can use her as a sidekick to give her powers, use her as a captain to give other people her powers. And here are her clicks with 50 points. She's a bit more costly than some of the others we've seen so far. So you have to decide if that ability to kind of shepherd people around flying them is worth it. Yeah, that's Julie. I like the way that she has that little rainbow effect when she flies. But you'll see, I'll have a couple of them to show, both in their kid and adult and teen forms. They seem to have this theme in the set of characters at different stages in their lives. So next up, that was an interesting one. But now we can get into some of the... this is actually... I forgot, a really cool reveal here, so stay tuned for this one. But first, Katie Power of the Power Pack in her child form. Small character. Many of the Power Pack you'll see have that ability, the first one, that we swapped powers again, and it's all about them being able to swap out with someone of a similar point value or name. It seems to be this idea that the Power Pack and some of the future Foundation members are kind of interchangeable, and you can use them to swap out on the fly to kind of confuse your opponent and do some tactics. Again, she has a little bit more point cost and more clicks to her than Leech did because she's meant to stand on her own. She's not a sidekick. Again, this one confused me, and you'll see why in the close-up. This is a scroll version of the thing. He's got the rock hard skin, but he still has those pointy scroll ears. So that's fun. He's got the things, again, you expect the thing to have. He has strength, he has toughness, he's got that scroll ability all scrolls have. If you take a look at what his stats are, he's got 5 clicks for 30, as you might expect. Show what they are. I like his pose on this one, Bentley 23. When you get the close-up, look at how he's like kicking. There he is, good old Bentley 23. You can now see him up close throwing his tantrum. And I like that his power as a sidekick, he has a sidekick thing, so he's still kind of low cost, meant to overwhelm, but he does have his own little ability, like he wants to be a supervillain, and he has a little bit of a leadership trait that he can employ in battle. And with that, even though he's still got those only 4 clicks, he comes at 20 cost, so he's a bit more powerful than Mick was, because he can use that little leadership ability, and I like that. I'm rooting for Bentley. I hope he becomes the supervillain he wants to be. So that's great for the little brat that he is. I remember from the comics, he's a handful, so I like that they got that reflected in his pose. I'm going to skip over this one because it's super cool. Let's look at the last one. Again, Mick. We've got Mick, but don't let his purposeful stride fool you. He is a sidekick. That means he has very few abilities of his own because he takes them from the captains. And of course he comes at a measly 4 clicks for 10 points. But of course the idea of sidekicks again is you're making a lot of them, so you're going to hopefully overwhelm your foes with numbers if that's what you choose to do. That is what they do. And that's about all I can say for Mick. The first of our equipment, like I said, this is going to need the close-ups to really see, but it seems like all the equipments I've encountered anywhere of the super rare class. Just to show you how difficult it might be to get them, but the ultimate nullifier, and I'll show you the card to see exactly what kind of chaos this thing can bring. So basically, if a character gets onto the same space as an equipment like this, they can pick it up. They can also drop it. Now, if they're holding equipment, they can use it. And the ultimate nullifier here, its power when you use it, is that it can either damage you, damage your enemy, or damage you both. And you decide who gets that damage when you roll a die. So there's this, kind of chance aspect to it. But if you choose to use it, it can make a very chaotic game, which some players might like to incorporate in their strategy. And for 10 points, it's an interesting thing to field on the board. And now, from the super rare tier, he's got that silver border to show you he's unique. Here he is, Uatu the Watcher, with his silver ring around his base. Really cool. He's got, these interesting abilities of Watcher might have as a cosmic character. He also has this interesting thing where he observes events, as you can see from his first ability. And if you look at the back, when certain events unfold certain ways, he gives mission points. And that's the second one. So first of all, pulling Uatu right there, it took me a couple boxes to get to him, but that's a cool one to show off. And there's more super rares coming, so I got 3 of these guys to go. So Katie Power is here again. I'm not going to pull up the repeat just to save you some time here, but also here's Jack Power. We saw Jack Power, we saw his sister Katie come into play. Same idea, he's got that We Swap Powers Again ability. He can be a part of the Fantastic Four if he wants, affiliation-wise. Take a look, he's got 5 clicks. So, pretty similar to Katie, a little kind of kid unit with one particular ability that he can swap in for others. The other incarnations of the Power Pack that we keep seeing pop up in this set. Exemplifying that, again, we have Julie Power. She does not have the hypersonic flight that her adult version has. As a result, she also does not have the captain or sidekick. Seems like a bit of a powered down version of her adult self, which maybe makes sense. But if you want to use her, she comes at the point cost of 25. So of course, she's a bit more of a budget unit for you. Oh yeah, I forgot. This particular one was really funny to me when I opened this box. Because this is pretty much what I had Katie power, Jack power, Julie, and now I have 2 Alex powers. You see they have the same pose going on but different clothing, so I'll show each of them. This is the common version first. I'll put him for the close-up. I think I've said it enough now so you get it. Here's a version of Alex Power, Future Foundation. He's got the We Swapped powers again. Pretty straightforward. You see what his abilities are. Again, he has 5 clicks for 25 points. I think you get it by now. And then after he's done, you'll see the rare version, the silver, of Alex Power. Much like Julie, he gets a bit of a bump when he reaches this form. He can take on the captain and sidekick roles, and that means he can share his power to sidestep if he wants to. And he also gets quite a few more clicks, but he raises that cost to 50. Again, Mick, repeat going on there. Human Torch. Human Torch, taking the Future Foundation here. He is a captain, as you might expect. He can make walls of fire, typical Human Torch stuff. If we take another look at his back, he's got plenty of clicks to him that come at 2 different point costs. So, there's some variation there on how you want to use Human Torch, either just for his own merits or as a captain to shepherd several sidekicks. Not flamed on, just in his Future Foundation garb. And I love this little bit here. It is a Fantastic Four set. They kind of expanded a bit, and they showed that one of the weirder eras, I kind of remember reading this part in the comics when they were Future Foundation. The FF was now consisting of different characters than the Richards family, and we had She-Hulk. So I'll show you her close-up. She's got a lot of powers going on with her clicks. She's got lots of clicks. 75 calls. She is a scrapper. That's what she does. You're not going to deal with sidekicks and captains here. You're just going to throw She-Hulk in there, watch her punch things, and enjoy it. Then we have Artie. Same thing we've seen with other students, not to dwell too long. They're sidekicks. They get their powers from captains. They have a low point cost. But a fun thing about Artie is that he is best buds with Leech here. Bring Leech back. You see they're kind of like high-fiving each other, the way their figures work. And if they are on a team together, Artie can actually power them both up so that they can extend the range of their attacks. So if you're fielding a strategy in which sidekicks go together, you'll want to put them together. And again, you'll see that Artie, 20 points, few clicks. It is what you get. But let these boys party together. Why not? Let them have a good time. And then here's another fun thing. So again, we have the equipment comes in. Again, it's a super rare. This is Isotope E. This little trident flung into the ground here. At the beginning of the game, basically, you put it on your sidelines, and then you can at some point switch the character you have into the sidelines and put something on your sidelines, in the battle. So I think it is supposed to kind of synergize with a lot of what we've seen with the Power Pack, how they have different versions of themselves, because it says same name, same points. So I think you're supposed to be kind of swapping characters, obviously with alternate versions of themselves. So kind of way to throw a curveball at your opponent and be like, oh, you thought you were fighting this guy, you're actually fighting this guy. And so yeah, I think that's probably why there's so many Power Pack kids that have the same name, because this Isotope E gives you the power to swap them out. So it's going to be some, I think, interesting and chaotic tactics if you take advantage of it, and it'll be interesting to see how people adjust to having this. But here we go again. The super rare, and it makes sense when you have Isotope E in the equation, that the high evolutionary is not too far behind. And this is a really cool sculpt for him. He's very vibrant pink they used for his head, shooting on pink energy. I'll show you. All these things in the close-up probably speaks better than I can about it. Look at him, I had it right in that it seems that packaging him with Isotope E was not a mistake. It was not simply a lucky draw that I got them both. I think they're meant to be together. Because you can see the first power that High Evolutionary has is that you can include Isotope E at no extra cost. I mean, he's holding it in this figure, so it makes sense. But yeah, so he's meant to synergize with that ability. He's got lots of abilities himself. When it comes to clicks, he's got the clicks if you want to spend 125 points on him. So you want to make him the centerpiece of your force, then he can do that play that role. He's also has the ally keyword, so he can pass his powers on to captains and sidekicks. So High Evolutionary is definitely one to look at to possibly lead all your little, leeches and such into battle. And yeah, so I think it's probably intentional that they decided to pair Isotope E and the High Evolutionary together. If you're lucky enough to pull one, let us know and see if that's just standard, or if I just got really lucky having that appropriate pair. But, you know, going into the last one now. This was a fun set to, I think, close out on. So with the super rares, what did I say? I got the Watcher, I have the High Evolutionary, and each of these equipments. That's 4 super rares if you count them. That's pretty lucky, I feel like. But there's one more coming in. First of all, we have Spider-Man, my personal favorite. If you're playing with Spider-Man, you know what powers you're getting. But this one is a bit different because he is a captain. He has the ability to pass on his spider sense to the sidekicks, which I think is pretty neat. Good Spidey for watching out for the kids. And if you flip him over, you know, he's got quite a bit of clicks to him. He can come in at 60 points or 40 points. I think that's pretty cost efficient to be a captain and to have that many clicks. I mean, I'm just biased, so I'm probably going to put Spidey on my team. But Franklin Richards, very cheerful. Look at him. And in the comics, he's kind of limited to sidekick status here. He's got his telekinetic powers, but he's mostly just there to be a blank slate sidekick and take those powers from captains. Much like the others, he's kind of got some small numbers going for him at a point cost of 20. But I guess, if you're looking to field the Richards family, then you could include Franklin in this iteration here. And then, going back to the Fantastic Four, the weird version with She-Hulk, we have keeping our company Medusa of the Inhumans when she was in the the Fantastic Four for a while. With Medusa, she's got plenty of powers. She's got this interesting ability to re-roll some of her attacks. Again, she's independent of the whole sidekick ally thing, and because of that, as you'll see, she's just mostly kind of a solid fighter with lots of clicks that comes at 75. So if you're not totally into the whole idea of trying to field an army of sidekicks or go through the whole captain thing, you can just, let Medusa do her thing. But finally, I think this is one of the cooler ones, which is why I saved him for last. I mean, I guess the Watcher was unique, so he was also a big reveal. But this one, I just love what they did with his sculpt. Another super rare, Invisible Boy. And yeah, just taking a closer look at him, I just love the way they did this figure. He's throwing out that energy with his hands. He's on a disc. His costume's pretty cool. I mean, it's very old school, but it's got some great use of colors on there. I'm really impressed with the paint job and the sculpt here. As a figure himself, he's got several kinds of different powers. He's got cosmic powers, which automatically is going to make him a pretty strong fighter. And he's sitting at an interesting point here. He's got quite a few clicks on him. He costs 100 points, so he's not as much as the High Evolutionary, who's going to come with all the items and everything, but he is still costing more than someone like we've seen with She-Hulk and Medusa. So he's got a nice, maybe mid-tier power to him, I'd imagine. I have to use him in battle to see, but he definitely looks like quite a bit of a powerhouse. Pretty cool. So that's a really cool pull, just for the visuals of it. I'll be honest, I don't really know the character from the comics, but now I want to learn about him just because I want to know what his deal is, why he's got all these crazy powers. But yeah, so I think that's a cool first reveal. Again, these days I wanted to focus on the super rares and the equipment. I got 2 pieces of equipment here, seemingly themed with the super rares they come with. So, if you're lucky enough to pull one, you might get 6 things in your box. I think is a really cool additional layer to the blind box hunt. I mean, that can be annoying or awesome depending if you love the hunt or not. But if you do, and if for your gameplay purposes, I mean, getting something like the Ultimate Nullifier with that power it has, it's chaotic, but maybe you want to revel in that chaos. So yeah. If you want to watch the next video, I probably will have it uploaded right after this one. That one I will get into what the chase of this brick is, because I've got 5 boxes, I have another 5, and those of you in the know that every 10 boxes, if you get them in a brick, there is a chase card. It is a pretty awesome chase, so... And I know it's one from HeroClix Realms that you guys haven't seen yet, as far as I know. The stats are not up there, so take a look. And as far as what this thing is right here, I will explain that now. Alright, so as promised, I have a little shout out to the real ones. I think one of my favorite comments I got when I asked for feedback on these videos was a lot of the ones that called me out for not knowing too much about the X-Men. I will admit, I was more of a Spider-Man guy growing up, and I've fallen out of comics these last few years, and you guys picked up my lack of Hickman X-Men knowledge right away. And my favorite comments was the ones that were like, why does this guy have HeroClix? Why aren't these other smaller channels getting them? Why don't real fans who deserve the figures get the figures? So yeah, touche. And in respect of that, I'm deciding to give some of you real fans a chance to get the figures. So here you see 5 unopened, tape still on the sides, boxes of the Future Foundation set. I'm going to give these away on my Twitter. So just look, there should be a picture I'll put up right here so you can see which account it is. It's basically at Sergio Solorzano. If you go to that account, I will have a picture of these bad boys. I want you to retweet that picture, and I will pick the winner from the retweets. There'll be a date and the method of delivery. I'll go over all these details on Twitter, but basically, find me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, retweet the picture of these, and you can be the lucky fan who deserves them much more than I do. So here they are, waiting for you, true believers, and the gauntlet is thrown. Good luck.